I have been a card-carrying member of the cult von NOMOS for a while now, so when I saw the Club Neomatik Worldtimers at Watches and Wonders, I knew I had to make a video. NOMOS has been kind enough to send me every single color, so I have every single new model in the studio to review. This video isn't sponsored or anything like that. These are just my honest thoughts, and it's been way too long since I've done a NOMOS review, since I've talked about NOMOS, which is probably why I've been losing some of my joy of horology. You know when something has a very unique essence to it, and nothing else quite feels like it? Like a Wes Anderson movie, or the exact specific way McDonald's fries taste. One of those references was much lower brow, but NOMOS has that quality to me. NOMOS doesn't care what anyone else is doing, they're not trying to copy anyone. There's a distinct design quality and use of color NOMOS taps into, and I think it is pure magic. And it is that magic that has been distilled in these new Worldtimers. There are 8 different color variations, so 6 have the matte dial with loads of color. These are limited editions, each limited to 175 pieces. And then there's 2 sunburst style colorways in blue and silver. These are current catalog, and you can buy these at any time. I mean, I like the current catalog ones, but the colorful variations steal the show for me, and I genuinely can't choose which one I like the best. At first, it was Glacier, but then I changed my mind to Jungle, but then I saw my friend Christian wearing Dune, and I changed my mind to that. But now I've arrived all the way back at the start, with Glacier being my favorite. But this will probably change by the end of the video. I'll get looking at my B-rolls and I'll fall in love with something else. Let's talk specifications. These have a 40mm case diameter, a thickness of 9.9mm, so just under 10mm, which is incredible for this functionality, and a lug to lug of 48mm. Yes, I know, NOMOS lugs. They're long. I think at this point it's just something we have to accept as a design feature. They're not going to change this. It's a design feature and not a fault. Something to be aware of is that you do feel those longer lugs in the wearing experience. So here it is on my 5.5-inch wrist versus my husband's 7-inch wrist. My head keeps trying to convince me that this isn't too big, it's actually a cool oversized. But my heart knows. My heart is telling me it is too big. I think there's just a little too much overhang for me to try to make this work. But as per usual, this looks just right. Exactly how it should look on my husband's 7-inch wrist. It's so annoying. Everything I like looks better on him. I personally wouldn't recommend this for wrist sizes smaller than 6 inches, but at 6.5 inches and larger, the proportions are going to be magic. Just the right amount of dial and strap showing. It'll look perfect. But as always, it depends on how you like your watches to wear. Back on the specifications, these have 100 meters of water resistance, something that a lot of people are looking for, the Worldtimer complication, which we will talk about a little later in the video, and powering this watch is the new in-house automatic caliber DUW 3202. If you follow my channel, you know that I'm a massive fan of NOMOS movements, and they take their movement making capabilities very seriously and as a real point of pride, as it absolutely should be. Hands down, the coolest thing about this watch is the functionality, being a world time, presenting 24 time zones and a 24-hour display for a second time zone. If you are setting the time for everyday life, you're not traveling, it's just a normal day, that is done through the crown, as it usually is for any watch. The crown also sets the second time zone in the 3 o'clock register. You then use the pusher at 2 o'clock to jump the hour hand in 1 hour increments and change the time zone along the outer ring of the dial. There is also a hidden pusher at 8 o'clock that only jumps the hour hand and does not affect the time zone or the 24-hour time. This isn't the only current catalog NOMOS with world time functionality. There is also the Zurich Worldtimer, which is a watch I've had a real soft spot for a while now. I should actually ask NOMOS if they'd ever lend me one of these to make a video. They are visually lovely. The Club Sport Worldtimer is far more sporty. It has a real cool factor about it, and as far as Worldtimers go, it's pretty legible and pared back. Design-wise, these really are the Club Sport made into a Worldtimer. Around the outer ring of the dial, we find the time zones, 24 of them, controlled by the 2 o'clock pusher, which we discussed in the previous section. Whatever time zone is selected will be found at 12 o'clock and highlighted by a different color pop depending on the variation. At 3 o'clock is the 24-hour subdial that is kind of upside down, so 12 o'clock noon is at the top and midnight is at the bottom. And at 6 o'clock is the small seconds register. Something I particularly love about the limited editions is the color contrast in the 24-hour subdial and hand. It's so NOMOS, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, NOMOS treats color like a complication. Speaking of which, I think sometimes bold colors like these can be intimidating because we think, how would I dress them? How would I wear this bold, crazy color? I know a lot of people just opt for black or gray outfits when wearing crazy color watches, but I really don't think you have to do that. For example, I am wearing a very pink watch with a green sweater right now. It makes me feel like a delicious, awesome berry. But I would wear this color with a lot of different things in my wardrobe. I'm not very afraid of mixing bold colors though. I wore all of these with the bluest jumper that I own, and I think it looks awesome. Or here's my husband wearing Dune with some red flannel and jeans. I think bold colors like these are a lot more versatile than they get credit for. I don't know if this is a bit embarrassing to admit or if this will help anyone, but before buying a watch, I will often go on the website and see how the model wears a certain piece and see if it would fit in with my wardrobe. Like, how did they match that watch? What is the vibe that they saw for it? But I also think that's because I'm bad at fashion and I need professional help. Okay, here's where the sadness kicks in. If you are really digging the limited edition colorful models, I think they are all sold out online, but that doesn't mean all hope is lost. You can find your nearest retailer and give them a call. There's quite a few retailers in the UK. I would just call the nearest one and ask if they had the specific one I was after, and then I would just keep calling everyone else. Or you can join the waitlist and they will let you know if the model you are after becomes available. The blue and silver are available always, so that's nice and easy to buy online or in person. Opinion time. Here's what I like and what I don't like, starting with what I like. Number 1, the colors are amazing. Every single colorway has clearly been well thought through, perfect contrasting colors as well, and great colorways for the boring watch lovers as well. Number 2, I love that sporty watches are getting more love and investment from NOMOS. I think this is a really everyday style of watch from NOMOS with an interesting complication. I'd love to see them continue to invest in the club line. And number 3, clicking the pusher at 2 o'clock is deeply satisfying. Now, onto what I don't like. This is less about this specific watch and just Worldtimers in general. Canada gets left out and it breaks my little heart. Like, the obvious answer is to take out New York City and put Toronto in. A far more culturally important and well thought of city. But for real, I get it. I completely get it, but it still makes me sad. And number 2, the size. If this was just a few millimeters smaller, it would fit me and it would be a lot more wearable for the fine members of the Itty Bitty Wrist Committee. This in 38 millimeters or even better 36 millimeters. Oh yes, baby. But anyways, guys, those are just some of my thoughts after spending some real time with these. I'd love to know all of yours down below. As a point of keeping my word, I do have to announce that after trying on and reviewing all 6, the Dune model is the greatest watch of all time. And NOMOS, why aren't you selling watches in Mexico? Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Watch every single video for all of time. In fact, you don't even need any other channels. You can just unsubscribe from those ones and just watch mine. And now, Pope tier patrons, get their names on the screen. Okay, I can't tell you guys how happy it made me to make this video. I desperately wanted to get hands-on with these, so it was even better that NOMOS sent me all of them. I was geeking out. It was the best. But this isn't about me. This isn't about NOMOS. This is about you. This is about the fabulous names on the screen. Thank you for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the content. I love making it. This is the best. It is the best that this is my full-time job. I just really hope you keep enjoying it. Or even if you don't keep enjoying my channel, I hope you just keep enjoying watches forever because they're amazing. All right. Okay. Bye, guys.